Welcome in, one and all. My name's Regan, aka Pink Demon, and today we are covering a band that I actually saw live just last week, DevilDriver, with their new album Strike and Kill. And boy howdy was it good to see them live. I haven't seen them play since 2014 when they toured with Whitechapel. And just like then, where I'm like, oh, that's a bit of a weird pairing, but a good pairing. They played with Cradle of Filth this time. Again, a weird pairing, but a good pairing. And it's funny, because in my mind, this was a comeback of sorts, an end of a hiatus, and I was certain of it. I'm like, yep, they released Outlaws Till the End in 2018, and they've been on hiatus ever since. This is a great comeback for them, and I am shocked right now to learn that they did in fact release Dealing with Demons 1 and 2 over lockdown. 2020 and 2023, and I just blanked them out of my memory. I went back and looked at them, like, oh no, yeah, I remember these coming out, and apparently I just forcibly forgot them coming out, because, look, if I'm being brutally honest, they haven't put out a good album since Beast. Winter Kills had one good song on it, and it was a cover, and it's been pretty meh and country covers since then. So maybe they weren't taking a hiatus, it was actually me who took a hiatus from them. But, after seeing them live, we're back together. The break is over. And let me tell you, these new Strike and Kill songs, they are received very well live. The crowd was eating them up, as was I. I was stoked to hear the singles in a live environment and just everyone singing along. It was great. I worried that at this point in their career, DevilDriver might be a band people go to hear the favourites, but no, there were plenty of diehards in the pit, moshing their hearts out, circle pitting their hearts out. DevilDriver's always been a circle pit band for me. I don't know. I think circle pits, and I always think DevilDriver first. I think it's something about that, like, aggressive groove metal sound that's often imitated, but rarely replicated. DevilDriver are the kings of it, and they have certainly claimed their crown once again. Because boy howdy, have they brought the intensity on Strike and Kill. It is fresher than everything from Winter Kills onwards. There are riffs in here that land on the Drywall Danger chart, breakdowns like on Ride or Die that just really threaten the foundations of your home. As I've said, they've got those super aggressive groove metal riffs and just a pace, an intensity, a direction that's so assaulting, like it's charging at you with a knife. That's how DevilDriver feels at their peak, and they're certainly at their peak on this album. Like they're chasing you with a knife, or is this hyena on the cover, this ferocious looking beast? It's like that chasing you down dark alley. That's not all. There's also things that feel a bit new to the recipe. I've never really considered DevilDriver to be a big guitar solos band, but there's some really delicious ones that, like on Never Coming Home, that just blew me away. I'm so iffy about guitar solos these days. It seems a lot of them are just in there because it seems like the thing to do when writing metal songs. 90% of guitar solos, I'm like, oh yeah, that just kind of filled up a bridge. But this has guitar solos that really just complete the song. And again, on kind of newer things, my favorite track off the album, In the Moonlight, is almost a ballad. It's as close to fast-paced groove metal ballad as you could get. It is undeniably a DevilDriver song, but it's also got this kind of melodic chorus to it, paired with the speed and power of a freight train. At first, I thought it was funny. I'm like, it's a bit silly, but on repeat listens, like when the album ends, it's the first track I jump back into. It's track 5 on the album. I'm like, 1 to 4, I'll listen to them another time. I want to hear In the Moonlight again. It's really beautiful. I actually love it. And again, it's so fresh for their sound. I couldn't compare it to anything else in their discography except for maybe Sail, the really good cover. It's not without its flaws, though. Shut the Silence On is probably the biggest one for me. It is such an awkward phrasing. And as a lyric in the chorus, it doesn't get any better. Like, what does it mean to shut the silence on? I hate that. It's just clunky. There's also Summoning Shadows. It's a really nice song, but it just kind of ends really abruptly. It makes me feel like it wasn't fleshed out to completion. It leaves me wanting more in the bad way. There's a good song when it finishes where you're like, play that again. That's In the Moonlight. Makes me want more in the good way. When Summoning Shadows finish, I'm like, where's the other half of the song? You're picking up momentum there. I really like what you're doing. Where's the other half of it? And that leads into the next point is at 50 minutes, 51 minutes, it's a bit of a long album that could have done to have a song or two cut out. And then you'd have a shorter but tighter album. Shut the Silence On's one of them. Didn't really care much for Headed for the Fall. Yeah, and Summoning Shadows, it's a bit of a half a concept. You could probably cut that out. And then kind of cherry pick any of the last four as well. They're not bad, but yeah, the album starts great, starts amazing, ends good, ends fine. It's definitely front loaded, that's for sure. Even still, though, the songs at the end of the album that are just good, they are like the level of the best songs of Winter Kills, Trust No One, everything after that. So this is still sitting well above the bad years. And I'm really happy that I just didn't try to knuckle down and power through the bad years. Like, I heard the albums and I'm like, this isn't for me. This isn't the DevilDriver I know of. And I left it. And I'm like, I'll just listen to the next one whenever it comes out and see if it's good then. And it is. And now I'm spinning it back to back to back. And, you know, like I said, I kind of tricked myself into thinking they were on hiatus by just ignoring what they were doing when they were putting out material I didn't like. And that absence really made the heart grow fonder. Now I'm coming back into it. Feels very nostalgic. Got me feeling like I was 15 again, or however old I was when Beast came out. That's when I got into it. I'm like, this is the hardest, heaviest thing I've ever heard. Because I think, like, up to that point, maybe Lamb of God was the heaviest thing I've ever heard. And these guys are, you know, on the level of Lamb of God, that's for sure. And it's got these juvenile, edgy lyrics that are still delivered with so much punch behind them, like Sanctified in Scars, where it's like, man, I would have put that as my, like, MSN status name back in the day. I would have put that on my MySpace back in the day, because that lyric is tough and deep if I am 15. That's all a plus to me. It's good to feel young. Every day I get older, and I wish to feel younger. So, to hear an album that makes me feel like I'm a teenager again, and to have that level of excitement. DevilDriver was always excitement to me. It was one of the first albums, Beast, that I bought on hype alone. I'd never heard a single DevilDriver song, but I opened up my Facebook and I saw, or MySpace, whatever it was, and I saw multiple people saying how cool the new DevilDriver album was. So I went down to my local record store and I bought a CD just on vibes alone, and I loved it. So DevilDriver's always been a bit exciting for me, and it's cool to have the feeling back. The feeling is back, and it's cool to be back. I'm hyped about DevilDriver. How fucking cool is that in the year 2026? I got to see DevilDriver for the first time in 12 years, and I was up the front and I was in the mosh pit, even though I'm old and my knees hurt now. How cool is that? You know, it just makes the whole thing feel like a real revival. Even though DevilDriver never went away, and I completely imagine that, this is still a revival to me, because I never saw myself liking DevilDriver again after Winter Kills. I think I bought Trust No One, and I hated it. And I didn't even buy the other ones. I gave them one listen to online. I'm like, stinky. And in my mind, and people I talk to as well, this isn't just my opinion, I've had this confirmed in conversations with friends in the scene, that it was always a tragedy that DevilDriver kind of went out on a whimper with their last good song being a cover. Which, don't get me wrong, Sail is an amazing cover, and it's been in, like, every live set since it came out for a reason. But, you know, it was the last song on an album that had nothing else really good about it. But that tragedy's over now. You don't have to look at DevilDriver as a lost friend and be like, oh man, remember when DevilDriver were cool? DevilDriver's fucking cool again, baby. Get on it. And it's a mix of them putting out a good album, me taking a nice little break from them. The well-executed comeback is just hand in hand. So if you're a Laps fan, now's the time to get back on the bandwagon, baby. And hey, DevilDriver were one of those bands that used to play Soundwave like every second year. Good things? I think we're getting Download or Knotfest back. Knotfest, we're getting Knotfest back. Just because they came here in 2026 doesn't mean that they might not come back in 2027, or maybe even Make Good Things 2026 hasn't been announced yet. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. What I am trying to say is I would go see DevilDriver again tomorrow if they play tomorrow, because we're so back, baby. Woo! I hope you get on it. I hope, if not this, you have something else in your life that makes you this excited and feeling young and spry and like your knees don't hurt. So, Go listen to this, go listen to that. Take care of yourself, listen to good music, and until next time, peace out.